Good day, viewers. Welcome to the Localization podcast, powered by the Nigerian Local Coalition Accelerator, NLCA. My name is Nimrod Grace. I work with the Nigerian Local Coalition Accelerator, a 9-member organization who is committed to accelerating localization agenda in Adamawa State, Nigeria. Today, I have with me Mr. Richard Inyankomen, who is a seasoned humanitarian actor. He brings frontline insight on how localization is reshaping aid delivery in Nigeria. Thank you for joining me today, sir. I'm glad to have you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Localization has been in the heart of the humanitarian sector since the Grand Bargain in 2016. But then the question still remains, what progress have been able to be achieved so far? I would like to ask you, sir, what is localization? What does it mean to you in person?
All right, thank you so much, Grace.
Thank you, sir.
Like the word sounds, localization.
Yes, sir.
Localization can happen in many very different ways, but for the NGO space, when we talk about localization, we look at it from a restrictive definition to talk about a process of, respecting and supporting and strengthening the leadership and decision-making capacities of local actors, to be able to position them to be better, be able to respond to humanitarian crisis in a way that it is both efficient and effective, and ensuring that the aid is reaching to the people that are most in need of it in both a timely way and in a safe manner. That's localization at this level.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. You talk about a shift of power to the local actors, but then international organizations have actively been engaged in humanitarian activities. Why the shift? Why does it matter? Why is it critical?
Oh, okay. So now from time immemorial, the international humanitarian system has always provided support and assistance to people in need, especially those that are hit by all kinds of humanitarian crises. And most times, the first people to support those responses usually the INGOs, international non-governmental organizations.
Yeah.
They have to fly into those countries or communities most times to give aid in different forms, from health, education, and all of that. Now, over time, research and experience have shown that when foreign people come into communities to assist, they oftentimes still have to rely on the locals, because the locals are usually the first responders in a humanitarian crisis.
Sure.
So that means that what the INGOs are doing, for instance, is when they come into your community, they still work with you in your community to help. Whereas they are still taking a lot of overhead costs, because they have to run their offices, their vehicle, their equipment, machinery, and all of that. Now, assuming that aid comes directly to the locals, because they are in their community, that overhead charge, which should have gone to the foreigner, will be channeled to the aid itself. So meaning that the community will receive more aid with those available resources. So, from what statistics show was that the amount that goes for overhead and into other operational costs would have been channeled equally into the communities. Yeah. So for us in Nigeria, localization is making a lot of sense to us, and it matters to us because since we are in our own communities and intervening in humanitarian crisis, if we receive the aid directly, it will foster more accelerated implementation, and more people will get valuable support from the funds that is available, for instance. And it will also promote accountability and transparency among the community members who are participants in the aid that is being delivered in their own communities. Localization would also mean that it will be more flexible, because power is now shifting from the foreign interventions directly to the people, and funds is also being channeled directly to the people. So it gives people power.
Okay.
The people power is built, and then it also fosters sustainability, because over time, when the aid discontinues, the communities will still have to live together. So the resources available, when they have a sustainable model of intervention, they will continue to live. And it also builds trust and respect among the people. So you don't look at the person coming from outside as a foreigner. It is your own people that are giving you aid in your own community. And so that brings about shared vision and collaboration. So for us, this localization matters, especially now that we are having crisis in the Northeast, North Central, other parts of the country, all forms of humanitarian crisis. We can take ownership and build our systems and be able to give aid to our own people locally.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. We hear that localization is very critical because it maximizes cost and resources to the community that we serve. So I'll ask you again, sir. You being the Nigerian Local Coalition Accelerator Coordinator, can you tell us what is NLCA all about? What localization efforts have they recently made in Nigeria? Adama, precisely.
Yeah, thank you so much for that question. For the NLCA, Nigeria Local Coalition Accelerator, it's a platform that was first ideated by the Shared Trust in the USA and Warande in Kenya. These two partners have worked together to develop this model. They look at it as an accelerating model for localization. Whereas they said that individual organizations were looked at not having capacity enough to receive heavy funding directly from international donors. And so, since the grant by gain is talking about investing in the locals, they said organizations should come together in coalitions so they can be positioned to receive these funds. For instance, where they're supposed to give 1 million USD to one organization that doesn't have the capacity to receive because there are 5 or 10 or 15, this can be, shared among them as recipients, but collectively they implement actions together.
Wow.
The coalition started 3 years ago. 9 organizations were formed together, and capacity building, started. And we have been through various stages of capacity building. We've also set up a governance structure, which is fostering democratic decision-making process for us. It's inclusive. It involves both the communities. And one good thing is that we have a shared vision. Despite the organizations being, different organizations, they've come together with one vision and one mission. So what is our mission? Work together to reach those people in our communities that are more in need. So what we do is that we have committed together to work together under a trust model. And that means that all of us will hold the resources that are meant for our communities in trust. And then we will also work jointly to design budgets, to make decisions, and to govern our affairs locally. So with the support that comes, so Shared Trust and Warande help to speak to donors to show them that these guys are here in Nigeria, this is what they are doing. So the donors will now give us the money directly. So we will work with the communities. The interesting part of NLCA is that we've implemented joint action plans. In the first year, we did a joint action plan. We reached out to communities, we co-designed the joint action plan, and we implemented it jointly with the community with appreciable positive outcomes. We also did the second joint action plan, which we just completed. And there is a lot of impact from climate change, mitigation and adaptation in emergencies where out-of-school children, were supported to be reintegrated into schools, and then under health, reaching out to communities even to the point of building up from scratch primary health care centers in hard-to-reach communities. Under climate change, a lot of activities have been done in energy transition, particularly cooking energy, helping them to find alternative cooking energy sources, and then helping for waste transformation initiative so that they will help to mitigate climate change and respond and adapt to already felt negative impact So there are a lot of good things. One of the things that stood out clearly in JAP 2 again was that the NLCA implemented what we call the Joint Crisis Strategy. Okay. And this intervention helped us to develop preparedness plans for communities that received the aid, and they were involved in the aid delivery. So for us, that is what we have been doing. And we are looking forward to replicating this model in other states.
Wow.
So it means that since we are an accelerator platform, we will help others, in the various communities to replicate. So we have more people receiving aid directly to respond locally in their communities.
Thank you very much, sir. This is interesting. We see that the Nigerian Local Coalition Accelerator is at the forefront of accelerating localization in the community they serve, co-creating solutions in the areas of climate change, education, and health. Will you like this model to be replicated in your state? Drop in the comment section, let's see, and share with us your localization story with the hashtag #MyLocalizationStory. Thank you for staying true with us, and thank you for having you, sir, today. We are glad we've learned a lot from you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Grace.